Okay, thank you everyone for being with us today. And my name is Ameth, also known as Ameth. I'm a member of GRILA, the Group for Research and Initiatives for the Liberation of Africa. And we've been discussing this issue with John a couple of time ago. And then today we're going to have this event to really look at the current relationship between Africa and China, trying to analyze the current state of this relationship, the challenges and the perspective. People who would like to have more information about GRILA can go to our website. It's grila.org. So thanks for the Manifesto Group for inviting us to be a co-chair of this event. I'm going to make a quick introduction, and then we have a set of speakers who will each be speaking for about 10 minutes because we have 6 or 7 speakers. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to have a question and answer period where we can interact with the rest of the public. This year marked the 66th anniversary of the Bandung Conference, which took place in Indonesia and brought together third world nations from Asia and Africa. They gathered in Bandung to promote economic and cultural cooperation and to oppose colonialism. That conference led to the creation of the non-aligned movement, which re-emphasized and elaborated on the importance of economic cooperation between countries of the Global South, mainly Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So today, 66 years later, the global world order is still very counterproductive and toxic for societies that are on the periphery of the capitalist system. And it is even more so for African countries. Africa is still restricted to the role of provider of raw materials and natural resources for a rapacious, predatory capitalist system whose model of consumption poses critical challenges to the world ecosystem and in general to the survival of the planet as well, because of dramatic climatic changes. It is within this context that all major world players have Africa at the center of their strategy of growth for decades to come. The exploitative relationship of all imperialist powers, Europe, North America mainly, started with the transatlantic enslavement and continued through colonialism. From the forced, unpaid labor of millions of Africans over 4 centuries, Western capitalism reaped unparalleled profits that in turn became the foundation of a capitalist system of accumulation, which continue until our day. Today, new actors are trying to get their share of the African pie and challenging the persistent monopoly of Western imperialist countries over African resources. China, of course, is a key actor in this new search for resources, which only Africa can provide if the model of predatory consumerism continues to prevail in the countries at the center of the capitalist system. Now, will China's increasing involvement in Africa be a game changer or a continuity to the old asymmetrical relationship that have prevailed between Africa and the West? That is a question. What should be the strategy for Africa and its diaspora to regain its sovereignty through a self-reliant approach of development in all aspects of life, economic, political, social, cultural, intellectual, or scientific? For Africa, what are the implications for internal obstacles and also external dynamics of world politics, which are preventing a move towards a strong and unified African bloc capable of defending its interests vis-a-vis any other nation or a bloc of countries? Today, other new actors such as Russia, Turkey, India, Canada are all moving aggressively in an accelerated process of resource grabbing. To make this possible, a web of military bases is being set up by these powers across the continent, aimed at securing economic presence in the continent through an unprecedented process of militarization. Africans are still recovering from a long period of lost sovereignty, trying to find their ways in building a compact bloc that can be a key actor in a multipolar world, to be able to deal on an equal footing with any other bloc, whether it is Europe, North America, China, Russia, India, or anyone else. In this context, we will try to critically assess the current relationship between Africa and China by evaluating its strength, but also the weaknesses, separate the ideological propaganda, which is most likely emanating from the West propaganda machinery that is trying to portray this relationship as neo-imperialist, from the realities on the ground, which nonetheless present some real challenges in some areas. However, there are also opportunities and risks to be managed for the benefits of both Africa and China. In South Africa, especially among younger activists and within some political movements, a debate is raging as to what is this relationship ought to be. How can Africa create conditions for correcting the asymmetrical relationship that have prevailed between herself and the rest of the world for the last couple of centuries? This question is key if we are to create mutually beneficial relationship, a prerequisite for building a multipolar world where Africa is no longer the pie to be shared, but a key actor capable of defending her interests, as is done by any other countries in the world. And it must also be addressed for Africa to be engaged in moving the world in the direction more sustainable for the survival of humanity, a world which is based on social justice, through international solidarity, and fair cooperation between all countries of the world. That's why Guerrilla Toronto and Guerrilla in general is happy to have been invited to chair this panel discussion and to explore, without being xenophile or xenophobe, all the dimensions of the current relationship between China and Africa, and to draw upon perspective able to move us closer to an optimal relationship that respects the interests of both parties.